He probably didn't take an Uber, but anyway, Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, sure left Westminster Abbey in a hurry last weekend to get back to Heathrow. Obviously, he was excited to get in some duty-free shopping, I guess, but reportedly, he was not carried there in a government or royal vehicle. All the other royals and VIPs were taken off in official cars, according to an eyewitness who spoke with Vanity Fair. But Harry was left on his own waiting for his car. It was actually really sad to see him all by himself. It is interesting how sometimes a single moment can hold so much meaning. This truly was the end of the road for the tortured Harry. I mean, this saga has been playing out for the entire time since Megxit, all 1,221 days. So as Harry dashed off to make the trip back to California last week, it looked like it would be quite a long time before we ever saw him have to put up with sitting inside the Abbey pretending not to notice the draft again. In the movie version, this is where you're going to hear that sad violin music. But now we get to cue the thunderclap effects. Because now there's a whole new revelation coming from inside of Prince William's circle, and that is raising the idea that things may be about to get even worse for Harry, and that the Duke may never again get a repeat invitation, even from his father. The long saga of whether or not Harry and Meghan would actually come to the coronation was pretty torturous. For month after month, the would they, won't they game was dragged out like some kind of ridiculous Married at First Sight season finale, but only a little bit less contrived. And finally, we got some news that Harry was planning to go, but Meghan had a birthday party to plan, so she wouldn't be able to make it. I mean, that excuse is only slightly better than the old excuse of, oh, I can't go out with you that night, I gotta wash my hair. After everything that Harry and Meghan have done, Charles was still excited to have his son be a part of the biggest day of his life, other than that one time maybe that he met the cast of The Goon Show. It is his favorite. But William, before the coronation, did not seem very happy to have his brother there. But he really didn't have any choice but to just go along with what his father wanted. After all, it was his day. So basically, everybody ended up politely ignoring everybody else. Charles got anointed, and Harry added to his British Airways Club points. But that was then, and this is now. Now the coronation is over. Now the ceremonial robes have been put away, the crowns have been put back in the vault. So things for Harry may be about to get a lot more difficult. And why exactly is that? Well, it's all down to the increasingly powerful Prince William. The story of William and Harry is a story of two brothers whose falling out is pretty epic. It's one of the biggest royal stories of the 21st century, for that matter. On the day of the coronation, both of them managed to be within just a few feet of each other, and they didn't end up in some kind of big fight on the ground. But the prince, having basically won the coronation together with his ridiculously beautiful other half, Catherine, the Princess of Wales, is now going to get a lot more of a say in things. And that includes how Buckingham Palace approaches the question of Meghan and Harry, according to a new report out in the Daily Beast. Speaking with the Beast, Tom Sykes, a friend of William's, has said, "It's very clear that William and Kate are now extremely important members of the institution. So their view on Harry, which is basically the further away the better, will have to be taken into account. Put it this way, I don't think anyone expects Harry to get an invite to William's coronation." Now hopefully that situation is a long way off, but in the years between, William and Catherine's antipathy towards Harry may prevent any chances of wider royal olive branches being extended. If William and Catherine want Meghan and Harry to remain the further away the better, then that's how it's going to be. And it also doesn't sound like Charles, having managed to avoid the PR catastrophe of Harry refusing to attend the coronation, is in that big of a hurry to repair the relationship with Harry. A friend of the king and queen spoke with Sykes, saying the opportunity that was there for Harry to sort this out with the king is gone for now. Of course, Charles would always welcome a reconciliation with Harry and Meghan. He has made that very clear, and his door is always open in that regard. But according to this friend, now the coronation is done. I think Charles will want to focus on the job of being king, rather than to continue being distracted by the Harry and Meghan drama. So apparently, Charles just wants to get on with things. He wants to focus on supporting British industry, and he wants to show off how good he is at ceremonial tree plantings. And William and Catherine, on the other hand, just want Harry to stay on his side of the Atlantic, and I can't blame them for that. I don't know how many people were still hoping that something would be changing in this current deadlock between London and Montecito, but it seems like that hope is quickly disappearing. In fact, I would say that hope should have evaporated right around the same time that Harry's flight was in the air and the king and queen were back at the palace celebrating with champagne. At the end of the day, even though it was an incredible occasion, it was a historic moment, and so many other cliches that I've been uttering over the past week, at the end of the day, the coronation didn't really change things when it comes to Harry. I mean, it just doesn't matter that he did make the effort to be a part of it all. What he did still cannot be forgotten, and in many cases, it can't be forgiven. Because it seems like still neither side is willing to give an inch. That same friend of the king's actually told Sykes having Harry there was very important for him, so yes, there was pressure there. But he is immensely hurt by what Harry has done in the films and books, and Harry clearly feels aggrieved too. So I think a bit of distance now will suit everyone. Well, in the short term, distance might be a great idea. It would allow everyone a chance to just catch their breath and reflect on the situation. The king and queen can finish any coronation leftovers that are still hanging out in the fridge, and Meghan and Harry can finish off any leftover birthday cake that probably was never made in the first place. But anyway, it's not a good long-term strategy. Now, at the end of the day, Charles is a pacifist. He wants peace. And eventually, he's probably going to want this mess dealt with. He's going to want to figure out some way to have a relationship with Harry, or at least come to some sort of peace agreement. It doesn't matter how much William objects. But in the meantime, William and Catherine seem to hold many of the royal cards, and Harry and Meghan are looking more irrelevant than ever. And you, what do you think about Harry? Please continue to discuss him and Meghan with us below in the comments section. If you think my video is helpful, don't be afraid to like and share it with your family and friends who would need it anytime you want. And don't forget to subscribe.